Two more people.
Well, it doesn't set precedent.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everybody. Come on up and you can run the. Board of Health. Got in trouble for running it last time, so.
Come on up, Chad.
Not for me.
No, not. Anyway, it's. Here. Get that part of it.
Yes, I did.
Morning, Chad. Oh.
Well. I. I don't really know what to say about this trailer.
It's.
To me, in my opinion, I think it should be the landowner, and I don't know all the particulars other than it appears to me, and I don't have any basis in fact for this, that the landowner may have rented out that lot for that trailer to be placed on that.
Yeah.
So to me, the landowner should be the one to be responsible for removal of that. And in the emails I have been seeing, you know, I think it is reasonable for the charges for removal to be placed on that person. And if they, you know, to me, you know, the financial situation of the landowner, he was in there to make money. You know, this is one of the costs of trying to make money. And, you know, therefore, I think it, you know, it should be his responsibility taking and charging his taxes for removal. I had a similar situation across the street from me in Phillipsburg where there was a trailer that was abandoned. The landowner's responsibility was to remove the trailer. You know, I don't see how this is any different. Other, you know, the situation of the trailer, the unsanitary conditions in it, you know, that's all part and parcel of trying to make the money and removal of and having the responsibility of the property.
You do know that the trailer didn't belong to the landowner.
Correct.
It belonged to the person that was renting the ground from the landowner.
Correct. Yeah, I still, and that was the same situation with the property that was across the street from me here in town. He did not own the land.
I think we're all agreeable on that part, but he don't have nothing either, so I mean, you're trying to get blood, you know, another term of it.
You need to speak up.
I guess that I think we're all on the same agree, we know who owns what. We're not gonna bet, it's like trying to get blood out of a tree. I mean, I've been against it, and I thought the city, Drummond would help us, you know. And they've been fighting over back and forth for quite a few years, so it's not like it just happened. And it's the biggest deal to me, I thought, but I think we all agree to let them guys talk, but just a one-time deal. If there's two more trailers, I already had another guy call, not a one down by my house, but another guy called. Well, if you're gonna start doing this, that's what I'm for.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know we can say it's a one-time medical, you know, but this is just a.
One of the risks I also see too is, you know, people don't have the means to remove it. You know, to me, you know, they may want to set fire to the darn thing. There's another situation where
He mentioned that, she said, no way.
Yeah.
She sat right here and said, no way. Well, how can she be the one that says no way of it?
Who said no way?
Gail,
Well, I thought the fire department said no way.
you know, right in the meeting, it should be on the minutes that she sat back there when he said that he thought like he wanted to burn. So,
I don't know the ramifications of that either. You know, it's
I don't think the fire department, I think it was still for, I don't think it'll burn. I think
and there's no all services have been disconnected from it, so
You know,
there's no
I
reason
don't
for.
know, there's still wires going under that. I don't know, I went in one time, and I was. Trying to get it.
Who put all the garbage in there?
He did,
The gentleman that was living in there.
the gentleman.
He lived in that garbage?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is one of them, like, what, a hoarder, this is a real true life hoarder story.
You should see some of the, have you ever watched it? Horrible. You have to climb over
Yeah,
filth
You
and
can't even get to the bathroom, so
I-
you use wherever you can.
I've been on ambulance calls. This is a little off the subject, but on hoarders, I was up on a very nice house. Up in Georgetown Lake, same situation. You could not hardly walk into the house. For, having material boxes, garbage that was strewn around the house, a narrow path into the house to get
Yeah,
into the
that's it.
patient.
Just
Exactly, exactly. Exactly. So it's not as uncommon as people make.
Because the next thing is, how much is it really, we've been estimate costs now, but we need to know what the total cost is gonna be on this too, because I'm not just gonna. Agree, and then all of a sudden we get a bill for $2,000.
$6,500.
That's what it is.
Yeah, well, that's, like I said, I was tasked with asking John Grosswell, and that's what he told me, and he's a man who's. Was the word, that's what he said, that's what we'll charge.
So Blanche, you said there was a fund?
junk vehicle. Junk vehicle is grant money to removal, and Chad said that you can remove trailers.
The program does allow a portion of it, so each county gets a junk vehicle grant. And Speed was the one that oversaw that grant for. Ever, but so DEQ gives each county a junk vehicle grant amount based on the number of vehicles licensed in the county. And so that changes every year, but there's a percentage of that money that each county can use for disposal of trailers. Trailer houses, camp trailers, things that don't fit technically under the junk vehicle program because they don't pay license fees that funds that. But they do allow counties to use those funds that way. Deer Lodge County has used those funds that way for a number of years to dispose of particularly trailers, trailer houses. So that money is there and it's available to be used that way. It doesn't need to be refunded to the junk vehicle grant program either, because it's the use of funds. Anything that's not spent in that grant in a grant cycle, actually is technically to go back to the state anyhow.
And we technically can put it in capital project,
Yeah,
which we
Yeah.
have.
you can't,
So-
you can take the balance and put it in a capital fund for things like fencing and equipment and things like that, so.
How's it going? Morning. Really weird.
So I guess we're back to
Square one.
and my,
I'd like to make a comment, and I know. I think everyone feels the same, that it shouldn't be the responsibility of the county. But in this situation, it is a sanitary problem and it's a health issue. It has been recommended by our sanitarian to have it removed. The property owner has pretty much said they can't afford it. I think this does not set a precedence for us to remove any other trailers that somebody would think, okay, so we removed this one because of health and sanitary reasons. Any other trailer wouldn't set that precedent. So I feel I would make a motion that we do use junk vehicle funds to remove it.
I was just gonna say, I think that, I'd advise that the letter should give them like 30 days to remove it, and then if they don't, then do that.
One question.
Or I guess we do lesser amount.
One question I have about the junk vehicle, is that on personal private properties? Or is it on public land?
No, it's,
Yes.
yeah, you can private properties, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because like I said, this says, there has been cases of this happening in other counties, so, and numerous other counties have used it very similar to this, where they have a nuisance property. The owners don't have the resources to be able to take care of it. There are other counties that have more of a better code enforcement program, I guess, or a nuisance program, like Butte Silver Bowl has a little more robust nuisance program, and they have went in and cleaned out properties and then put it on the taxes. So there are cases of doing it both ways. And, you know, in this circumstance here, the property owner came in at the commission a couple weeks ago, and basically pled before the board and said he does not have the resources, you know, to barely pay his taxes. He doesn't have the resources to pay to get rid of this trailer. He's sort of at the mercy of finding assistance from somebody to get rid of it. So that that's the perspective to do that. Try to, you know, if you want to try to recoup it on taxes, you may lose the property on taxes. You know,
I want to know that there was an offer, you know, to use equipment. to do it. He didn't follow through. with
Well,
that.
yeah, and that was,
Talk to the person.
okay, that was confusing. He did say he tried to get some other individuals in the area down there to help get rid of it,
And I
and
just want to make
It
sure.
was
that
not
one of the
clear-
Guy that he,
okay, yeah, it wasn't, he didn't make it terribly clear or document anything about what he had done to this point to try to get rid of it. And then the other side of it is the owner of the actual structure was in assisted living in Deer Lodge, and I think he pass away.
I don't.
So, yeah,
I've been told.
yeah, so he was, you know, he had got moved out of there and into assisted living, and of course, this gentleman had zero resources. Enough resources than the guy who owned the property, so it's just such a weird situation. You know, that maybe the landowner should go after the building owner, but nobody seems to have anything.
Been a big feud for every year.
This is, yeah, that's
Everybody not wanting to move, but
Go on.
everybody else.
One thing I did look up, on cadastral, and there's a David Williams that has real property in Drummond. I asked Vicky and she thought it maybe a different David Williams, but that's something we can do a little more digging in.
Yeah, I think that's that, yeah.
Different, you think it's different, okay.
I'm pretty sure. 'Cause I-
And the other issue I was gonna talk about is,
Those are the past taxes on that trailer
okay,
from the property owner.
that the order can come through either the Board of Health or Dr. Khan. What I'd say is have potentially the letter signed by both the chair and Dr. Khan. Is she Dr. Khan on?
I don't see her on. We do have Ashley's on Zoom too, just to let
Yeah.
everyone know, and I don't have a text from her, so.
Then I suggest the letter come from good doc here, and I drafted a rough draft, but we could even if the letter's approved, we could get it signed today. And
I think we need to move on and get this.
it's as drafted, it's to the owner of the real property as well as the trailer. You know, I don't know, if the person in the trailer is, even, what the status is.
Okay, I'll second the motion with the understanding it's a one time deal, so everybody knows that.
But I'd encourage you, like, just a case by case basis.
Case by case.
I agree.
I agree, yeah.
We could look at that letter and then we can. Maybe get it signed and get it out right away, and then it's done and off the plate.
And if I could just interject for a sec, I actually spoke with John Grosswald yesterday about other things that he's doing, septic systems and this and that, and our paths cross a lot of ways. And he was asking about, he said he is actually doing the work in Drummond right now. And he was asking if he wanted, if the county still wanted him to abate that trailer. I told him it's gonna be discussed today. And somebody would get a hold of him and let him know, because that would help, because I think if he moves out, and he has to move back in, and they can change the conditions of what he sees, you know.
Could we make sure that he has insurance and everything, because there is gas lines and everything else?
Absolutely, and
Is
And
that
as a
included in the
contractor.
motion then?
Well,
Is that included in your motion to have this guy do it?
Have it, oh, I think we need to, right?
but you can do another motion and a motion to approve the letter and then a motion to approve him doing it if they haven't removed it in 30 days.
In
Yeah.
that, make sure we have all the insurance.
Yeah, so motion to approve the letter and then a motion to approve him if they don't remove it.
Would he make a motion for those? No,
It has to be. a
As
board
a
member.
secretary, and again, I
you're,
kind of,
aren't you part of our,
I am not,
Not on the-
I'm overseen by the board of health.
So
I'm not part of the board of health,
okay,
and I have not.
One of us can make the motion, he can make the motion on the letter, and then the next motion, you can make the motion on the,
yeah,
giving it road goal, excavating out, whatever.
You're in a side.
so what's his
any
name?
of you can make.
It is Grossfold, Grossfold logging and excavation, I think is what it goes by. Yeah, GROSVOLD. GROSVOLD,
And it was, I believe 6,500 was the
that's the.
estimate.
That was my.
Yeah, that was-
that's what I see on that.
That was his verbal estimate.
Come back in and start, cause there's, what's with the septic and all that, cause does it have to be unhooked from that? City, see, this is where the
Yeah.
cities. and-
Right, so it's, yeah, I mean, it's connected to municipal services there. And,
Yeah,
Cause can't they tell that septic wasn't working going into the city, or how's that?
I'm not sure what the situation
You know,
was
see,
there, if it was the
This is
connection
the-
that.
it's opening up a big thing too, is when they start tearing that. Cause it was going into the city septic. Well, they said it wasn't working.
Well, that's, yeah, I don't know, that was more likely the plumbing within the trailer that was the issue with that, I don't.
so have to cap it then.
Well,
Well, the neighbors
He's
had
done
to dig
this.
a new line across the street over to there, cause it was all, so I don't know if that's all, and part of that, I just don't wanna end up, all of a sudden we start opening this up,
Well,
and we're gonna have to
okay,
pay
so-
for the septic.
no,
I
what,
think that isn't our problem, the
Yeah.
septic thing,
I just wanna know
Yeah.
that, so.
Well,
That-
then it should be capped, right? Or,
Right.
yeah.
that would be up to. The property owner
yeah,
and the city to follow through on that,
And disconnect power lines.
yeah.
yeah,
Et cetera.
That's what we're doing is as a sanitarian point of view, removing,
just getting rid of the health.
getting rid of the
the
health
box, yeah.
Now, is that part of John Grosvold's charge that he would be disconnecting all that?
That's my understanding, you disconnect.
That's my understanding in the past, this is, he said, I'll show up there. And then this trailer will be gone when I'm done. And so that's all part and parcel of him disposing of that structure, as far as I understand is. And he does general construction, and like I said, he's done a number of these particular disposals, so. He has an understanding of what to do and how to do it, so.
I guess all I'm just worried, I want to start into this, the county's not gonna be liable for any more than what we already do. I'm gonna say.
Well, and that, again, I was tasked to speak with this particular contractor who has experience doing this, and so everything that so far. I've been tasked to do is all been oral, so I think if that's the case, if the county decides they would like this done, maybe get something formal, send it to him. Have him review it and reply appropriately, or
Okay.
a contract or something.
Yeah, I think the motion today could state, if they haven't removed it in 30 days, then he'll be.
Okay,
we'll
so
work
that
on
our
retaining
first
it.
motion is to draft a letter.
Yeah, motion to draft a letter for removal within 30
Wow.
days.
Yeah, well, I've already
Yeah.
drafted a rough draft, it could be it's the motion to send this letter. if
Yeah.
it's accepted.
Do we need to put case by case, or is that just going in the minutes?
I just have that in the minutes.
Okay.
You guys wanna pass around? And Dr. Khan is on, and she is, I don't know if she's unmuted and can talk or not, but she said if the motion is to approve the letter, she can.
Yep,
We can hear you.
yep, I'm here. Sorry, I was on a while ago, but couldn't get myself unmuted, so.
Has everyone seen the photos
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I emailed him out.
So George Paul gonna be there
Yeah.
in 30 days then?
He's there right now, working on the fire department.
Yeah, but will he be gone in 30 days?
30 days, yeah.
He may,
We can-
I don't know,
Yeah.
but
I think.
We can give them a week to move it then. At the time, running down.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, cause otherwise he's gonna be charging us to come back.
yeah, if he's gotta move equipment and remobile.
It's move on, I think like the most should have done.
Then I-
Set.
Say the financial hardship, because I think they should show proof of financial hardship, say that within 30 days then.
So
I agree, yeah.
Because that won't hang up the,
then
that'll-
removal, yeah. And then maybe turn around and, say, okay, you
Or-
can't prove financial hardship, so therefore,
Or you could do a week on the financial hardship too, I mean,
Yes, I wanna get this off, but yes.
yeah,
It's been 3 years of fighting and back and forth.
you wanna see the letter. So a week on the removal, week on the financial hardship.
You guys all agree on that?
I agree.
within 7 days.
What's your running meeting, so I.
If that was a motion, I'll second.
So is it Blanche's, it's your motion then?
is that my motion?
I need to get this.
Well, they can cut from any of you really.
Yeah, and Ashley's on.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the first motion is
So to approve the letter,
Correct.
to approve the letter,
second
send it to the
motion,
property owner,
yeah,
give them a week.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna be removed anyway, so is there any way we should say? If, because it's gonna be removed,
Moved, yeah.
we can't give them a week, if it's going to be removed
Well-
anyway, if we've already decided it's going to be removed.
well, I think we have to go through the process of have to ordering to do it, that's what the statute calls for. And but we can start the process earlier, working with Mr. Grosvold, because we know, I mean, we basically know what's going on here, so. But I think the letter should say 7 days.
Okay,
Couldn't.
okay,
So that's your motion now?
I guess.
Motion.
I'll second.
And you second it,
I'll second.
Motion has been passed, we're gonna.
All in favor?
All right, yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
did you need public comment?
Bye.
Public comment.
Okay. Second motion.
None.
What was the second? motion?
To give it to Groves,
Those
or
votes there.
excavating or logging.
Kind of bunched up in one.
To work with him to enter a contract to have him.
Okay,
Or
If needed.
$6,500.
$6,500, yeah.
okay,
That's what he said.
am I doing that one?
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go
I
ahead.
make a motion to hire Grossdale. Grossville logging for 6,500 to remove the trailer on Mr. Terrell's property. Coming out of junk vehicle.
I'll second.
If they don't, if he
If-
doesn't. have to
if-
move it, yeah.
If financial,
Hardship.
Yeah.
blah, blah, got that, Billy?
Yep.
I second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public comment. Go ahead, Elena. Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you. I have to be allowed to be unmuted first. You know, you really rush things, Scott. I have to do that. So, okay, watching remotely, I didn't hear any introductions, had no clue who was there. I have some questions and comments. Is the chairman, Mr. Kolarchik, however you say his name, is he there?
Yes, I am. Kolarchik.
Oh, Kolarchik, Michael, thank you. Okay, and I thought that you would be head of the meeting. This looks for appearances like a county commission meeting and not a health board meeting. Who called for this meeting? And when was it called? Is this a special meeting? Because it's not one of the regular meetings. Or is it an emergency meeting? I'm sorry?
This is a special meeting.
A special meeting. Was anything posted in the newspaper? Published in the newspaper about this?
That I can't answer. I do not know.
No, we
Did you,
just,
did you call for it, Michael?
No, I did not.
Okay, let's see, what else? Okay, so now here's my, comment. I agree with Blanche. This happens to be a trailer and it's a health and sanitary, provides health and sanitary dangers to the public. So it is up to the Board of Health to make the decision. I don't think this is a junk vehicle. It's a public health. And there's different things that you'd have to go along with. If you look at your own, and I'm glad that Dr. Khan is there. But if you look at the website, it says that her duties is to investigation and control of sources, communicable and environmental disease and dangers to the public health. So, this whole thing wasn't even handled as if it was a Board of Health meeting. It's appearances, it's a county commissioners meeting. That's my comment, and that's for the record. Thank you.
Well, one clarification is that the three commissioners are on the Board of Health. So we've got 4 members of the Board of Health here.
We have an agenda.
we have Ashley on as well, so
And after we got 5,
we have a
a full board here.
We're doing it right.
local health officer.
It's every time it's always wrong.
Besides that, we had to hurry because
Contractor.
contractor is in town
Do you want
and
to
will
sign
be
this,
leaving,
Michael?
so we have to get this
There's
done.
2
That's
copies.
what.
Well, and when we started the meeting, we told he was the chair. So I mean, we've done everything and
Yeah, really, we haven't rushed in because this has been on the agenda, the county commission agenda for initial discussion.
Dr. Khan said
And,
I love her name.
Yeah.
we did it fine.
And this is Chad Lannis, a sanitary, and if I may add that the component where the junk vehicle program is coming up into question is the funding component to dispose of these health issues. The junk vehicle program, I sort of explained earlier, has funds available within that program to dispose of things other than licensed vehicles like cars and trucks. It has the ability to use those funds to get rid of camp trailers, trailer houses, things that are outside of the typical purview of that junk vehicle program. And that's why that discussion came up, is because that is a funding source to get rid of some of these issues, these problems, whether they're nuisance or whether they're health issues. So the junk vehicle program isn't playing any role in the disposal of this other than the funding source to get rid of this nuisance. So
Thank you.
I thought for the letter, I think we can, I'm not seeing the VIN number anywhere. Was it? We can get the geocode that's in the.
I will do a search. I'm gonna write that in because I was gonna
Okay.
research a little bit further, but I have the changes you guys requested and signatures if you want to take a final look.
Could, if you've been talking to the girl, would you take care of that part then?
if you ask me to do
Would
that,
that be all right? Would that be okay if Chad, he's been talking to girls, so can he just finish, so we're not have another person in the way, this way?
I think as sanitarian, the commission has given you the go-ahead to request
Sure.
from,
the kind of contractor to dispose. Sure, I will,
Yeah.
I will give him a telephone call today. I'll give him a telephone call today and let him know that the decision has been made to dispose of the trailer and to proceed.
Okay,
So,
thanks.
yeah, and I'll tell him, so as we understand the conditions are, he'll get rid of the trailer. The cost discussed was $6,500, and that's the amount that's funded for it, and to dispose of that, and he can however he wants to do it, if he turns in an invoice for that or however it is handled, so.
It'll be paid upon when the job's done.
Yep, I will.
Clean up to your specs, make sure that.
Yeah, if you need me to draft up a
that
written contract,
Sure.
I'm gonna do that. I think insurance is.
We have another
key
comment.
Okay.
there, And then
Yeah.
understanding what he's gonna do.
Yeah, if you want to give me the bullet point specifications that
Okay,
we need from
okay.
him, then I'll reach out to him. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I would just say a header on this too with the skill mark 925.
Yeah. Like that letter.
Right.
If business is concluded, we close this portion of the Board of Health meeting.
Sound good.
Thank you, thanks for coming in, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed last week, or last time
Elaine,
I had COVID, so,
Yeah.
Oh.
okay,
We got one, Elaine,
oh,
sorry, I didn't.
go ahead.
Thank you. I forgot to ask this. Something was mentioned about photos. Are those uploaded online?
I did not upload those online due to privacy for the tenant.
That's bringing into a personal.
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
Yeah, it's private.
Private.
Those are personal?
Due to privacy for the tenant.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Yes, personal.
They're personal because it's a junk trailer and it's personal. That's
Sure.
interesting.
Private property.
We've seen the photos and that's what we decided.
Okay, right. Okay, thank you. You decided it. There's rules, but you make the rules. Thank you very much.
Well, there's constitutional rights of privacy that we're talking about here.
On a junk trailer,
Yeah, yeah,
in a junk vehicle,
it's a residential trailer.
is it on a foundation?
Not climbing that, look, you go.
It's not, no, it's
Whole
not.
bunch of class. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, health board portion of the meeting is closed.
Okay.
Thanks, Doc.
Thanks.
Right.
Adjourned.
Thank you, everyone. Kira, I'll fax this. off
Thank
to
you.
Practitioner there, but-
No,
Perfect. Yes, if you fax it, I can sign it back to back.
Fabulous. Thanks, Kira.
We gotta correct
Right.
that. It should
Yeah.
be RN.
I didn't even look at that, sorry.
We're in that
Here.
board of minutes.
Signing.
Yeah, will you sign?
We'll have a motion on board of minutes.
Yeah, okay.
I make a motion that
For
the
the-
minutes for November
commission.
29th, 2022 be approved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye, any public comment? So, all right, so we'll move right into public comment. Correspondence, sorry. Yeah, we're looking ahead.
Thank you.
The first one from Mako. It's on the consideration of attached letter. Counting to sign off on that. Medicaid we were talking about. Yeah. The next one from Kelsey.
Okay, and this one,
Certified.
this is the one where we get it on the agenda. Okay.
I think we'll put it on the agenda for next week and we'll have time to read it. Okay. Then we just start. And the next one from Kelsey, Dimick, or is it from first, there's a new person taking over. His name's Kareem Bino. He started today, we just got this. But she'll still be on some of it.
Take over with Kelsey.
Yeah, he's the new engineer, but he's gonna be our new engineer, but they'll both be on the call next week, so we'll get an introduction.
Good luck with your new job.
You'll do good.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, the next one's from first on PGA analyst due by April 1st, 2023. My last correspondence is on Granite County Justice Court. End of period disbursement. Anything on their correspondence? Being none, we'll go right into public comment. Sheriff Dunkerson's here.
I don't have any comment about anything.
No trailers.
Well, thank you for getting rid of that. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's been a burr in the saddle for a long time. There's actually been some folks in the community complain about that. You know, Blaine mentioned the Constitution. People do have constitutional rights, not like I can just show up and pack their stuff on. So there's a process that you guys just went through, and thank you. So
Thanks for supporting us. Any other public comment?
Christmas party is 11.
What you got going on, Scott? I mean, nobody's, we can talk.
no, I just stopped in to see how it's going today. We
How's
got
the
that
jail?
tabletop deal going tomorrow.
How's the jail coming? Is he
He's making progress. I think he's working on the cell out of his shop, is what he's kind of indicated. But I need to call Dave because it was empty. Now we got one in the back until probably he sees the judge tomorrow and he'll probably be out of there, but the jail will be empty again. So it's a good time to. We've had a call for that cell roughly 2 times in the last month.
Nobody else needs to push him a little bit. I know he's got it.
Somebody wants to use it.
Yeah, we had a use for it.
Electricity.
I don't know if they want to use it, but we had a use for it, Chuck.
I may be the first one in there.
Yeah, you want to read? You want a room to sit in and read and get, you know, your meals fed to you?
I think, well, with this guy, cause you kind of seen come and go, leave it up to you, is just get on him, John, we gotta get this done.
I
know
don't see it done
he
sooner than
starts
later.
getting into other stuff, and this is one of the big, we sat right here and said, once you break.
Well, the floor, I
I
wish you guys could have seen the floor, and I thank you for making the decision to redo it, because I don't know how many hours him and Sue and myself spent patching and repairing that floor.
I come on and look.
It was just deteriorated,
Hmm.
the concrete. There was granite, mortared granite underneath a layer of whatever they put down in that floor.
Hmm.
And they dug some pretty cool bottles up underneath that floor. They're over there in the office.
Cool.
I'm gonna put them on a shelf over there. Was some bottles and like an old marble, and it was like an
Time
old
capsule.
dump because there was some cow bones and stuff. Yeah, it was like an old, I don't know what was that at that location before they built the jail, but it might have been a dump. So,
Cow bones.
cow bones. Sawed up
They
cow bones.
just put the granite right over it or over the.
Yeah, the granite and the mortar right over the top.
Just Baylor.
Yeah. With that new
Only in
floor.
Grant County.
We have a public comment from Elena.
Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you. For the people that are on remote, for the record, whoever was talking and made a public comment, did he introduce himself? Because I didn't hear his name.
I did not,
say Sheriff
Elena.
Dunkerson was here.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Somebody was over talking you, sir. Did you say your name?
Yeah, Elena, it was Sheriff Donkerson.
Oh, thanks, Scott. I kind of recognize your voice, but others that are watching, we don't recognize your voice, but thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
I did it now. Thank you. Good morning, Jackie Bolster. Now that everybody knows you're here.
Yeah, I have something for you, Miss Jack.
Don't leave, don't leave.
Here,
Oh, hams,
for you and all of you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
That's from the Benevolent County Commission.
It's amazing. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for thinking of me. Amazing.
They are
Amazing.
Is there any other public comment? Paul won't be here today, have emergency or something. I did have a message. We want to jump, we can go ahead and we'll move into road and bridge, and if you guys have anything that we could call and be said.
Well, we gotta make sure somebody gets out to East Fork and probably Middle Fork, because it's drifting in.
You want to call in, Chuck?
Let's go ahead. They're probably gonna go out there anyway.
They usually do, don't they? I
They
mean,
usually do, yeah.
But that's good.
Hey, Paul, yeah, Chuck wants to make sure these figures that they probably are already, but the East Fork and Middle Fork are starting to drift in. They're down there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I need. I'm sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
I'm good. We have a good day. So they're down there. Other than that, I don't. They don't have those. You just see them plowing all over. We haven't got a lot of snow, but
They're still on 10-hour days. They just split up shifts.
yeah.
I've seen school board members attending and
Yeah.
If we get a lot of snow, I think they probably should go
I
back,
can kind of see.
Oh,
those.
eight.
She's obviously.
because I don't think that two guys can cover it on Friday. You know, if we get a bunch of big snow.
I agree with you, because it's been that way too, because it's, you know, with all the skiers and everything, you know, people come, especially with holidays and that. We definitely, you know, I agree. with you.
We should do what, go back,
Put them on eight.
oh, aren't they on eights now?
You know, they split the shift. Two guys are working Tuesday to Friday, and the rest of them are working Monday to Thursday on 10-hour days, so they covered it. But what I'm saying is, if we get a lot of snow, a big snow, those two guys wouldn't be able to cover it. On Friday. So he's have to go through with it.
So when was that decision made?
We talked about it in here when Paul was here, when I was there.
Yeah.
Oh, we did.
3 weeks ago or
It's in
something.
the making. 3 weeks.
I didn't realize there were split shifts.
Some were working Friday because they were working Monday through Thursday, and then now there's a couple of over Tuesdays and Fridays, so it's being covered the whole week.
So do we put them on or just wait till the big snow, or
I,
put them on like in?
I think you're right in putting them all on 8-hour shifts.
Well, like I say, if we get a big snow,
Yeah.
two guys ain't gonna handle it on Friday.
Well, and this is in their union thing too, that they be on. I mean, I guess I missed it because I don't remember him saying that he was going to split shifts, and I just.
No,
remember-
we're gonna do that for a while, cause it was just kind of a, you know.
just to make sure somebody was there on Friday.
On Friday,
We were
or-
getting complaints about.
So I missed that.
You do have the agreement that it's stands until you guys, it's the commission's discretion when it gets fully shut down. So
So I'd say. Some paper thing,
Yeah. Well, I think what Paul said is that as long as it's like the beginning of the week, I think that it wouldn't hurt anything because he'd work it where that work week wouldn't have any overtime. Because the work week starts Sunday and ends Saturday.
You want to have, make sure he's here next Tuesday and put it on the
Yeah.
agenda that we're going back to 5/8. Okay. You copy that?
Yeah.
Not calling, telling, get worried that, you know, two guys aren't gonna cover the whole county.
So what week was that we talked about it?
either 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was on.
Yeah, you guys
Well, at
talked
least-
about it
at least
at 2 different meetings. It came up.
He brought it up last week.
Yeah.
That's in there, man. I remember him sitting there. we all-
Well, I'm just gonna go listen to him, because I didn't get it. I do that sometimes.
This is a side note, but Slate Engineering could potentially come on the 13th.
Yep.
Talk to you.
And I gave you guys, there's a packet I gave to each of you guys that,
This is
has
on
the
elevator.
preliminary floor plans for where the elevator could potentially go with his message to Blaine on some of the notes, just so you guys had it to review prior to setting a date.
It'd be nice if they come in, so we can talk to figure out, like you say, because then the judge don't want to move now, if they gotta have to do something.
I think the judge would be happy if we could find him a replacement bathroom.
Oh, yeah, well, the judge downstairs is concerned about where the elevator corridor could be too. On the
I think
basement,
that was Judge Dayton though on the,
on the
because he
upstairs,
come through his bathroom.
Yeah.
Where is it gonna be that's gonna interfere with her?
2 different.
Well, I was talking about Judge Dayton,
Yeah.
his bathroom, but I'm not
But on
sure.
the bottom floor, it'll be in, it's in the public health office essentially now, so that public health office, that whole back section gets. Basically gone, so there's just an itty bitty office in the very front, so that corridor. That's like a waiting area by where my old office is essentially now an elevator corridor.
But didn't you say that Judge?
I did,
He did not.
She's uncomfortable with that, if that is a potential space
You
for
know,
the
we're not gonna
elevator.
make everybody happy on this.
That's the best space for, that's the best place for it.
Amen. Yeah, but
Yeah.
And I don't ever see that elevator being jam packed. That's my opinion.
Oh, for privacy reasons? Is that what she
We'll
said?
just have a lot of people.
Just
that
traffic.
flood it Coming through.
Oh,
Traffic,
there's not gonna be a lot.
But traffic or people, I don't know, she's just not necessarily comfortable moving over into that space potentially if the elevator is there, but. Like I told her, it's all very, very preliminary. This is just the first sketch and you guys haven't even talked to the
But
architect.
that's she needs to come up and talk to us.
I agree with Chuck, though. I don't think there's gonna be that
No,
much
but I
traffic
mean-
there.
If she had something that she should come up and talk to us about it and then get moving it plain, and we're just trying to figure this out. Not everybody's gonna be happy where it's going and what happens. It's just something we gotta move ahead.
It probably is the busiest hallway in the courthouse down there, but. It's still not that busy that I see.
Anyway, is there anything on solid waste?
I say there's a new outfit in Missoula doing garbage.
Can I comment on solid waste?
Yeah.
Because this is a town issue as well. We've had several calls for service to dispose of dead deer lately. And
can you
we have
speak
no,
up a little, please?
and we have no place to throw those deer. There's just no place to throw. 'em.
We're not gonna, I'm definitely against bringing that animal pit back, cause that, all that stuff come down and, yeah. On the deer deal, the state, I thought they were hauling them away, which now I see they're just dragging over further in the pits.
What else do you do with them?
Well, there was a place they were stacking them, and I thought that guy from Uganda was coming here, but Scott, we're not, I'm definitely against opening up another animal. Parkings, get up there, you know.
Yeah.
That smell and all that water that come down there.
Right. I understand your concerns why you guys shut that one down. Is there a problem with getting another one or?
Yeah, there was. We're gonna try to get over there at the prison. What came of that?
And then we did go out and open up and started working out at Radke's, we're gonna take them out there, and then that closed down, we got all that.
Yeah, there's
And the
too-
neighbors were like.
There was too many
"Oh,
hoops,
that."
there was too many hoops for Radke to jump through.
Yeah.
So, but then, remember we talked to the grizzly guy and he was gonna go, that's what,
Uncle.
Dunkel. Yeah,
Jungle,
Whatever that guy's name
Jungle.
anyway, so he was gonna go to the prison and then I've heard
Never
anything
saw that.
since. Maybe we should get Paul to go to the prison and see if Paul could work something out.
Who would haul them over there though? See, that's the next one, who's gonna be the one hauling them over?
We'll start throwing them
Solid waste.
down hall.
Huh?
I guess we'll start throwing them down at the town hall. I don't know what to do with them. Like, just leave them in the ditch.
That's what they've been, I asked the Fish and Game, because they act like.
Well, they're the ones making all the rules on disposing of them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Taking them to the zoo and throw them out in their yard.
Well. Like, whenever possible, we try to let one of the wardens deal with it if they want to make the rules on where to dump them and whatnot, but. Well, the fact of the matter is, we're getting calls continually and the warden was busy during hunting season, so we went. I had to euthanize one here a couple weeks ago. Threw it in the back of the truck and there I am, I'm stuck with it. You know,
Yeah, I guess we could check in and see where they could, I mean, we need to get hold of Fish and Game too, they're the ones that, you know. They act like they own them all, so they can take care of
Well,
it.
when did they, take the carcass removal from, down to Drummond? Long time
Years
ago?
ago now.
Oh,
My first year,
It was bad.
yeah, it's great.
People, all that, they kept spraying all that water on there, trying to get that to dissolve, and then all, we had that book that brought it down.
You want an agenda item for next week?
Yeah, I think we get Paul to go just talk to the prison and see.
And could you get a hold of that Junkel, whatever his name, he's a bear guy out in Missoula, fish wildlife and parks guy, and find out.
and
And
their
then,
guy's Brad Bayless.
Brad
and
Bayless.
Randy Arnold's the main guy, and ask him if they would.
did we hear anything back from, Powell County on?
I haven't received anything back, no.
Is there a problem with digging a pit up there and each time you put one in, put dirt over it? I mean, up at the solid waste site, is that a?
Well,
that would
once
be a
they
problem?
had, they were hauling that stuff in, and you know, we had 5 pits there, and then they had the deer, they all come
Right.
down, you can't mix them, but being DEQ. And then, it just wasn't just, you know,
There wasn't a room.
and then all that stuff was running down the main road, remember? It's just, you know.
That was a good idea. Somebody come up with it when our meeting there for the. Well, I think it was, what's her name? Anyway. To do it at the prison, they got tons of land, they had equipment. I mean, if we could work something out and just get the things over there. It'd be great. And. You know, there's more grizzlies moving in, we all know that. And I think we probably ought to do something with these carcasses. Before it's too late, the grizzly, you know, I mean, they're around.
Well, that's why I figured I better get hold of Fish and Game, your part of this.
The state's the one making all the regulations on not dumping them. But there's no place to dump them.
So we'll have to put it on the agenda. You be here,
I can try to do it.
be nice, cause then you. that means-
There's no place to dump them. We're just stuck with them. So,
Okay. We still got 10 minutes on the, any other comments on,
I was just looking at where the elevator would go.
Yeah, up into the jury room.
up,
So you take the. It would then take part of the
Put it
jury
some-
room, and they were like, well, it looks like it'd be just a small office up there, but I think it'd be sufficient space still for a jury. Then there's talk about a break room up there, I don't know who. Brought that up, I just. bring up the
I
break
didn't
room.
either.
right?
It's just that
The upper-
I just don't see where it's gonna hinder justice. Or with traffic.
there'll just be a door in that hallway, right? Elevator door?
Both.
I think it kind of opens up that hallway quite a bit. Cause that, it would leave the public health office.
Yeah.
Oh, they think I have a thing.
Yes, we turn on.
I got it messed up.
Nobody's in the bottom.
So
I got him.
You're gonna walk by here and her people are in here. She has this in.
Really doing everything by Zoom anyway.
We're in the basement.
Not for sure, I was, busy as far as traffic.
She would be in. Well, we just gotta find a potty for the
Judge.
judge.
Bucket.
And then it's to be doing the bathroom upstairs too. by the
She would be
jury room.
right here.
The,
That whole waiting room, like, by my
Yeah,
office.
yeah, so you need to
So it
do
kind
a
of
task
just
order
opens
for the
up.
elevator.
There's like this
design.
doorway
Bathroom.
through here. It would be. a
Got the
large
money,
door.
fine.
So fix that one bathroom that's upstairs on the third floor.
That's what his thought was,
Well, probably could,
Yeah.
plumbing's all there.
yeah.
Stuff to make it work.
Yeah, I could get somebody like him. Talking about that, this is Road and Bridge, did you ever hear back from Clyde? I called to find out what he found on the heater in the ambulance shed.
No, I didn't. I never heard back.
Have you ever heard anything back from him? I called.
Is the
called
heat
him.
on down there? Cause those,
Well, he said he'd run right over and look and fix whatever or get fixed, and I never heard back. The heater quit in the ambulance shed now.
Down here.
Mhm,
the new one.
last week.
Sam Dennis called me last week. And said that it wasn't working. It's working in the meeting room, but not out in where the ambulances are.
But I've never.
So he was worried about the water freezing in there.
Clyde wasn't answering. I mean, I got told them, told to go look at it and see what he can do to get it going, because they have to have heat in, and we want the pipes breaking. And, cause it's that shower and everything's out.
On his cell phone or do you?
I called him and talked to him. He wouldn't mind me.
So would we maybe want to call a furnace person? Is it a furnace?
I think very well, it was an emergency, so I thought he could run over it, but if we have to, I think we better get hold of the lot. Guy to put him in.
Lot?
I've got his number too,
You want? Well, I don't know if they're working or not.
so I need to call him.
Maybe, maybe I'll answer you.
Clyde's supposed to move the gas line over there for that. They gotta move some electrical and a gas line before he puts that cell on. But
Hi, this is Blaine Branch. How are you doing? Oh, good, good. Hey, I was asked to follow up with you on the ambulance shed to see if you're able to go down there. Oh, okay. All right. Would is that still the plan when you get down there? Oh, okay.
Better get him. Maybe. He's in.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that sounds good. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'll let, yeah. Yeah, there potentially is, there is water in there.
Your squeaky
Yeah.
thing, I thought it was a bird.
But, yeah, understand your point. Okay,
Maybe we better have the guy come to put the meters in lot.
you wanna, here's Scott right here. You wanna talk to him?
Who is it?
Hey, Clyde, maybe I get a hold of that lot and see if he
Clyde,
comes, if he's the one that put him in. I thought you were headed down there, because we don't want that to freeze and, oh man. You were gonna get back with me and I never ever heard back from you. Yeah, all right, well, we'll call Watt and see if we can get him to get over here and look at that and get it going. All right, well, we'll just wait to hear from you. I think we better get hold of him. Even look up his number, we'll call him right away, because
I think Blaine has it.
Here's the number. 560-3192.
Okay.
Furnace guy.
heater quit in the new ambulance shed, in the meeting room that works, but out where the ambulances are, it don't work, so we need to get somebody in there before the pipes freeze and break. Do you care if we call him right now? Do you want to call him? Okay. You want me to call him then? Oh,
What's the number?
406. 560-3192.
Who's this?
Lot. LOT, he's the guy, he's the one that put him in, he's done all.
Hi, you reached Mile High Heating and the voicemail of Jim Lott. Please leave me a message and I will call you back. Thanks.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Hey, Jim, this is the Granite County Commissioners. Could you call us right away? We need you to look at the ambulance shed in Phillipsburg, the heaters quit working in the bays. Could you get a hold of us right away though, please? Thank you. Bye.
So real quick, how's the ambulance? Did they get theirs fixed or?
Yeah, they are used, it's on here. But yeah, yeah. Alrighty, well, we'll move on to Allied Engineering, Flint Creek Dam operations and maintenance costs. Final report. Closed session, litigations.
I got stuff to do anyway. Have fun.
All right, we're back on now. Go ahead,
So,
Lane.
yes, in sum, I'd say that county did receive the report from Allied and also talking to John Fitzpatrick, our representative, he talked with a representatives of Northwestern Energy, and they may be interested in possibility of taking over the ownership of the dam, subject to the agreement with Flint Creek Hydro. So he said that Northwestern Energy will be reaching out to petition to me to find out more for them, do some fact finding. And then there potentially in the current infrastructure bill, there is funding for dams, so that not to the states yet. I think it'll be going to the states and then coming down that way. So that's an opportunity for funding. Do you want me to give my opinion on this, the report from Allied?
Can I ask you something on this report before we go in it?
Yeah,
We're keeping this isn't going out to public, right?
correct. For
Correct.
litigation
Sure,
strategies and
Yeah, I'm
I'm
sure we're gonna get asked, where's this from now? So I just want you to know before you call in and ask about it, this is not to the public.
it's, yeah, because of this litigation strategy, you can say it doesn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything.
All right.
And keep it in my pocket.
What me saying, you have any questions? Let me, I'm gonna ask them right now, but
Is there any public comment for Blaine right now on this?
No, we're the only people on.
Yeah, none?
Yeah, there's none. There's just us and
All
we're the
right,
only people.
well, we'll move on.
Did you said you wanted to give an opinion?
well,
Yeah.
you want to keep that until
Okay, on this, oh,
for the litigation strategy.
okay. I see, I think I'm confused here.
All right, I just. All right, well, we'll go on to Brandon Terrace Dam and Tenders report. It's sitting at 6427.89, 19.32 inches.
So it is barely. We just gained a little bit, like,
But I think that damn cold, I had 17 below, 15 below, I mean, there's not much moves and that snow is dry.
yeah.
Here's a report from Brandon, here's the inspection report for the dam, let the commissioners know that. Last week, Tall Town called me and I was told they let water out of the dam and went into the vault. They also exercised their wheel wells. I thought we already got this one for that.
I don't know, that's what
We
he
did,
said.
but they did it again. Is he talking about second time?
Yeah, that's what he
You had
said to
to
me yesterday.
Repair the pipeline so that the water in the creek.
Yeah, that was last Wednesday.
I don't think I signed that.
But they're only letting out 10 CFS still. They weren't doing more than 10
I
CFS.
don't think they're doing that chance.
They just put it in the creek versus the pipe.
I kind of question them having the open gate valve anyway, because in the summer when we did it, it took 2 days to get down to the weir. So I mean, what good is it doing, opening up the valve? You know what I'm saying? They open it up the valve, keeps the creek flowing. If I wasn't getting to the creek anyway.
Well, I thought they were just testing them.
Well, they tested them the first week and the second one, I thought that the way they sounded, they had to do it because they're fixing that.
Yeah.
That's
The
the way
first week, no, they had to fix that leak the
Twice?
first time, twice, yeah.
Oh,
So then he said it leaked again. But he thought they had it figured out how it was leaking and they got it fixed.
Oh,
Second time.
Oh, okay.
okay. Well, that, going on the other note, did we get any pictures from Brendan?
No,
We need to get them pictures for that yonder that we know that it's getting looked at.
uh,
I guess we'll.
do you think you should stay at 10 or are you recommending, or what do you think?
I think we ought to talk about it. So what do you guys think, Ed?
You wanna,
Stay at 10?
you wanna go lower? What do you
I
start?
think we're gonna have to start thinking about it if we don't start gaining. a little bit more.
What's the snow factor that? Like Peterson Meadows?
Well, I saw on the news just yesterday that we're Upper Clark Fork is 99% of moisture content. Which seemed like it's kind of dry to me, so they said that, and we're the lowest of the state. The rest of them are all way above 100%.
Did you do 6 last year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm?
6.
We did 6 last one.
Yeah. I think we start, when did we start 6 last year? We were into 6 right now last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
What's your opinion?
Do you think we should go to 6 maybe?
No,
I think
I'll go one more week.
One more week?
I'll go one more week. with
Okay,
it.
so when it gets cold, that means we're not gonna get the moisture,
Yeah.
and so it's not gonna come up.
And we're supposed to start, the weather, looking at the long thing, it's supposed to be in the 30s now, we're gonna start getting. Then we'll pull some moisture out of that snow, but right now with that being, 0 and 20 below, So,
Okay, on this one then, are we down some or are we still,
We
Running the
just- we
same.
Barely
We
about
gain,
this much. Gain about that much.
we gain.
that much
Maybe this much.
for those that much?
Very
Not
little.
very much.
No, it was, on that damn wind and everything, that snow just like sand, there's nothing in it.
That's why I say, when they said we were 99% of the moisture content, average moisture content.
Cause
So maybe,
I went up on top of Garnett, it don't have as much as they said, I was up there tapping, they were saying how much. Yeah.
well, that's probably Upper Clark Fork, isn't it?
Well, the first round of snow probably melted him, and then they didn't warm up and melt and
Well, we're still building road, there's no moisture in the ground, I mean, what we got is, you can still, when you break about an inch or so, and that's dust, it's not
Yeah.
good. So I'd go another week at 10, and then we have to start really adjusting, I think. That's your motion.
Yeah, that's my motion.
Okay, so
Well, we could chat on this,
and
Wish they kind of let us know too when they're shutting stuff and opening stuff, so we kind of have an idea instead of getting it from the hearsay from them. I'm glad that the homeowners are paying attention. That. Like Paul and guys been, and they should be letting us know, so. We know exactly what's going on with our dam. I think,
Yeah, I think he might that first time elected, that's he done like, so. And that's,
I mean, I know they can't, a lot of times something popped up, and they have to do it right then, but it's just, even if they get it fixed, that still let us know what's going on. We need to email Brandon Parrish right away, that we need them damn pictures.
then damn pictures. Then damn pictures or the pictures of the
Damn.
Okay, so
I'm sticking with that.
I'll make a motion that we stay at 10 for this week. That's your motion. Okay, I'll second it.
Any public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, we're gonna have to really start watching it now, because I'm not do it, there's just no moisture either. We can, if it warms up and we'll get a little bit, we'll see what's there next week. It's a long time to warm up from here to there. There's no up above, they said.
I see that final letter to, Bob Turner.
These
Last Wednesday, when I went to town,
printed
it
two,
was like 20
each.
on that place.
yay, nay.
I got Drummond was like 3.
Oh, this is
Oh, yeah,
30
I
up here.
went up on the mountain. I
That can be-
was
but that's
17
okay.
below.
In the front there.
It wasn't that cold when I come.
Because it's just the front light. I'll make.
Feel the big fan.
So it seems like this year
Big
it's
cat,
a little colder.
big cat.
If I can
We
get
did
a
it
copy of the
quickly.
final version too.
Yeah. We'll get it all tweaked, put together.
Huh?
That would beat 7 years.
Wow.
That would seem to be West Broad, I mean, I think I got, yeah, put north on
I
that.
don't think that I ever got it.
West
Right
Broad
after,
Street.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
empty that.
Huh?
Right at 200 pounds empty that. What do you do with it? I butchered it, your people will eat it, and then I'll probably get it.
Eat it?
That's what I was just gonna say. What do you even do with?
There's a lot of
Cat
people,
meat.
they love. I butchered it all out, gave it to them, what's in the freezer that it comes.
So what do you do with skin?
I'll take it, get it. I don't know, I mean, we get a little bit of lights, and I'll get a can for now, you always can. I take up. If you get a rug. Yes, the length of it's 11 feet 7 inches already.
Where'd you get it?
Oh, by Garnett.
What is it?
Where? Cat?
Cat.
By Garnett. Down there.
How big is it?
It was right up 200 games, so 11 feet 7 inches.
Wow.
Yeah, from tip to tip.
Wow.
I'd like to see that thing coming out.
Oh my God.
Beautiful, beautiful experiences.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Anyway, so.
Yours is approved.
Yeah, I was gonna just sit in on the ambulance stuff.
Oh, man, you can approve it.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and move on to the Granite County ambulance update on Eagles ambulance, private ambulance services and their usage of county ambulance. I got a call that both ambulances of Eagles were down, transmission and brakes. Well, anyway, they were just down and got a hold of Blaine, and then I did run into Chuck and Drummond, and I talked to Blanche that we gave them the permission to use the Phillipsburg ambulance till they could get theirs up and going, and I think it was like a day and a half, and they had it back up here, so. My only thing is, I totally agree, we need to have something that. We're not, all of a sudden we're trying to scramble and get it, if she needs to come in, so we could write something down, especially if it's not being used up here, that if something did, an emergency, they couldn't use it, because the night before, the deputy used it to haul approaching the.
So I have drafted like a base agreement with them for services, that's. I think something that needs to be, we need to sit down with Eagle, talk about that, and then a lease would be, potentially, part of. Addendum to that base agreement. And I think you've offered the use of it, potentially, or at least for them to come in and ask you about it, and so. I think being proactive and trying to get an agreement worked out ahead of time versus, they have problems and coming in, but. I have no issue, there's no legal issues with you guys helping there, the statute does talk about how if you're gonna lease a ambulance, it'd be similar to like the lease of the healthcare, the hospital. You have to put a advertisement in the newspaper 5 consecutive weeks, so you do have to start doing that. So if you guys want to start looking at that, you could potentially put the notice in the newspaper.
Is there something? I guess so, if we put it in for 5 weeks for 2 leases, a different way to go at and lease agreement, or is it based on a emergency use only?
Well, even that's a lease, really, that's still a lease, I think. I think it doesn't say fair market value, just like with the hospital, it's what is it? It's nominal. So the statute doesn't require fair market value, so it could be $1 a year or whatever.
The only problem with that is an ambulance isn't a building and it's going to depreciate and then go out of. Then what?
Well. Obviously.
I mean,
the
the wear and
building-
tear of the
That
vehicle.
building's been depreciating, they keep building on and that and stuff up here to update. But on the ambulance, I told Ray, I don't think it's gonna depreciate that much. We're not gonna get into where they just every week. I don't think.
Well, it's depreciating though, sitting there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right,
The lease could have them be responsible for maintenance on it. And it could be like a year-to-year thing, okay, so.
Well, and then I think on that, it'd be kind of nice if we could work something with them that the ambulance would actually be updated and have the stuff in it that we actually need.
Right.
And then, you know, we could work something with them there that, at least that way that. You know, stuff, the stuff inside of it, because the stuff.
I realize that, but what are you saying that? Have the county put the bill to make sure that the ambulance is up to date? And then have. I don't mean to be the naysayer, but then have a private enterprise come in and use county materials for $1 a year.
You could have them updated.
That's what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have them updated.
Yeah,
That's what I, yeah, I think that, but it, I'm saying in that way, at least we, seems that they, we'd leave it down so low on the lease, that at least they could. Feel the ambulance for the stuff, you know, I'm not saying us do it, cause.
Well, then, another question is, we haven't really looked into this. Is there anybody else that wants that ambulance that is a entity, a county entity?
That's why you have it advertised for 5 weeks and they come up with the, you know, potentially. Proposal of one, wanting,
So if somebody wanted to come in and say, I'm just saying the hospital, it's just, so if they wanted it, then they can put in a. Theater, whatever. That would be-
yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
a proposal.
Right.
And I don't see anyone else. Including the hospital bidding on it, but maybe I'm wrong.
Is this an extra ambulance? Is this what you're saying? We have. Like, or do we only have one ambulance? I thought we had two.
There's 3 of them.
Oh, there's three. Okay.
Yeah, and this is the one they use, the newest one that they got, they're just been sitting because they don't have to pay them.
Yeah, and I keep. Throwing that around because I think there is some interest if we were to be able to compensate with at least call pay or something. And I really think we can benefit from it because right now I've been here. For whatever, 4 months now, I haven't seen any ambulance bring my patients to us. So it might be worth. Working with Healthy
I mean, this
County and the foundation, everything. To try to get the ambulance up and running. I know I haven't met him yet, but John has said that he'd still run classes. For the ambulance. There's a few people that said they could teach classes. And if we can compensate people with even call pay, which. Hospital would maybe be interested in doing that because if we see some of that revenue come back to us, because right now. I haven't seen one ambulance from Eagle come in and retire them.
Is there 2 good ambulances up here? You look at doing.
see,
two that are good.
what happened is we aren't funding. The Phillipsburg ambulance, it's still a district, but we're not funding because we have no ambulance crew and there weren't any runs going.
Right.
And then Eagle came in. And as a private enterprise and have their own ambulance. But what I want to clarify is the fact that. When their ambulances were down, there was no other ambulance available, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so this is one thing that, did we get that verified through? They couldn't call the Drummond ambulance because they weren't available and naturally. Phillipsburg doesn't have funding for an ambulance because there's not a group,
Correct, that's correct.
just so that the public understands
But
that.
you're not taking it, but are you taking mills and putting them towards the Phillipsburg ambulance?
No,
No,
it's
okay,
not being funded. There's-
Okay.
Yeah,
all right, okay.
Understand it.
Drummond is, but those
Drummond
three,
is.
okay, all right.
but Phillipsburg is
I did not
still
know
a
that.
district, but we're not, it's not funded this fiscal year.
Okay. Good to know. So if I could give you any advice, you could potentially look at putting 2 ambulances up there, because if they're just sitting there. Why not, why not out and they're sitting there depreciated, not being used when they could be used for public's benefit.
Plus, we have the other 2 good ones in Drummond.
Yeah, and I guess,
Brand new.
with 2 being out there proposal, the hospital, the hospital district could. Bid on both of them.
Well, and this is something we did approach Maria and ask her, remember, are you interested, would the hospital be interested in possibly working with us on some way of, keeping these keeping it running? Because we didn't have a crew. And is there some way where the hospital staff or someone who is an ambulance, we talked with them and that's something that if you could look into and it would be feasible, where you'd have your ambulance and, right?
I feel more confident,
Yeah.
he's willing to look into it more. Before, we never
Yeah.
got a lot out of it. It was pretty much. Yeah, and I know there's a lot of hoop. Now you gotta go through to get to us, but.
Yeah, and I'm sure there is, and I know the staffing's gonna be an issue, but I really think we should.
Yeah, that's what she said. Staffing was an issue. They couldn't let somebody go. Or anybody go from the hospital because they're short staffed anyway. And
Yeah. We'd have to look at training, we'd need, EMTs.
And then you got that training thing and then nobody wants to do it.
Well, that's the thing, and then training takes so long, my daughter and son-in-law, they both went and then they flunked the test and then they went back to the back and so it just. It's got to heck to walk through
Right,
the road trying to get it, and if you don't keep up, and then they change it every. It's,
yeah,
where they're volunteers, it's hard to.
yeah.
I just. don't
And I think if it's
legal
volunteer,
here.
we're probably not gonna get anybody, but if we even paid a call. On call something.
We tried to do a
Stipend, if we
stipend
get
and
paid.
everything. We put it out doing a stipend and everything. We pay for this and that. You just get.
So
I think it would benefit us in a lot of ways, It'd benefit the hospital, but it'd benefit county residents, because I think they're gonna be taken out of town.
I guess we'll jump back to this, where they use them, as we did it all the legal way and everything. So
it was an emergency and you guys agreed to it, that there's nothing that was done
Yeah.
wrong there, it was for the public safety there. But going forward with whatever you're gonna do, a year-long lease or whatever. Or you may, if you're gonna put it in the paper 5 weeks, you may wanna look at it longer than 1 year, at least, but. It's the commission's discretion on if you wanna put those ambulances out there, to be bid upon and, for the length of time and which ambulance.
I'll make a motion to.
Okay, can I ask one more question? Sorry. Is Eagle Ambulance? Are they interested in? Did they show an interest? And say they wanted one of our vehicles or what? Why is this on the?
I had it put on just because told them they could use it.
What for the emergency
Yeah,
use?
So
So
one
then,
time they were gonna look at our stuff and she needs to come in and I told her that we gotta get her in here and sit down and go over the rest of the stuff with Eagle Ambulance. Then I guess we could ask her if they're interested. One time she was.
My advice is to have everything the leases in place versus. Coming back in emergencies, we have the leases in place, which we were encouraging, there wouldn't have put. It wasn't total buying, but you were trying to get a hold of,
That makes you nervous,
Make
'cause
sure
we got
it's everything's-
people, they had 3 calls and couldn't get there, and then one was really bad, but then we have a deputy to use the one and taking some transport from somebody, I mean, I guess that's. Something there, then at least that. Don't freak out, it was pretty hectic, the sheriff called me and.
advertising in the paper gives any entity an opportunity to put in a proposal.
I'll make a motion then to put it in paper for 5 weeks. And get some use out of these things.
Two ambulances?
And
Yeah, both of them.
do we throw their shed in, too, then, being that in case somebody comes in, then it'd be a whole, would that be a different lease on them building?
So what does that do with the ambulance shed if the ambulance is pulled out of them?
Well, I agree with the town is it has to be used for ambulance purposes.
Well, they're still gonna be that.
Yeah, ambulance is in there,
So I mean, we're still using.
yeah.
Okay,
As
so.
far
if-
as I wouldn't do a lease on that building yet.
No, I mean, what I'm just saying, in that
Yeah.
scenario, it. Just a scenario, if it came to the fact that it was feasible. That the Granite County Medical Center felt that they could lease. An ambulance. That they felt that. It might be profitable for them,
They could, yeah, they could put in a bid on it,
okay,
or one or both.
so how would that read in the paper, anybody wanting to? Lease it or what?
Yeah, I'll draft it up and say,
Okay,
the county has 2 ambulances, we'll give the year, make and model. And tell them how they can submit their bids, you'd have to say how long you want to lease them for, I think in that notice.
So maybe my motion would be just to draft up the
Lease agreement.
paper thing
The
and
notice.
The notice.
we'll look at it next week.
yeah,
Okay,
okay,
all right.
okay, I second.
Any public comment on this?
Yep.
Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
But would you think longer than a 1 year?
I think if we're gonna go into a 5 weeks and all that, yeah, we need longer than 1 year.
Like 2 or 3 years?
Not too long, 2 at the most. I would think, if things change.
We could say up to 2 years and
So agree, up to 2 years.
So in other words.
your thoughts on that? That seem reasonable?
Yeah.
Just a couple EMTs get together and say, hey, let's lease this ambulance and. Put our information in with the sheriff's office. Why do you never know?
Well, it's gotta be a responsible bid.
Okay. Yeah, that's
By
what.
statute.
All right, we'll move on, we're a couple minutes early, but we'll go into Doyle and Associates, PC terms and objective letter.
I make motion that we accept Doyle and Associates. Terms and objective letter. For, would be what, fiscal 23? Or is it fiscal 22 still? We're in 23, right?
Yes.
We are.
Oh, she's got to prepare for fiscal 22 annual financial. The fiscal 2022 annual plan.
My second.
Any public comment on this?
No.
Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
We carried that. I signed it, really.
Lovely, thank you.
They might as well go on up, it'll be a few minutes early, but. All right.
Nobody's on.
Bring it on.
I'm gonna take off, unless you need me here for anything.
No, I don't.
Okay, all right.
This-
Just kidding.
Okay, good to see you. Thanks.
Would you take that bag up?
Yeah, it's all good. It's in it. All right.
It's not for you. Unless you like girl stuff.
Girl stuff.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. All right, I'll give a quick update on COVID-19 state.
Could you state your name?
Oh, sure. Chad Green, CEO of Granite County Medical Center. Hospital district. COVID-19 state and local update. The Granite County COVID-19 community level is considered low at this time, with 2 new cases and a rate of 59.9 per 100,000. The hospital currently has no COVID cases and there are no visitor restrictions at this time. We do continue to screen employees and visitors as well as masking. As of 12/2, Granite County has 2 new cases and 1 active case. The neighboring Deer Lodge County is at a high level with 22 new cases and a rate of 251.64 per 100,000. There were 936 new confirmed cases in Montana in the last week. According to the Montana response map, there's been a total of 319,023 cases in Montana, 1,230 active cases in Montana currently, and 72 active hospitalizations with 3,600 deaths to date. For vaccinations or vaccines, we still have the Moderna bivalent vaccine available. Vaccination rates remain unchanged in Granite County at this time at 39%, and Montana is now at 52% of its eligible population fully vaccinated. And we continue to run COVID vaccine clinics with the bivalent vaccine on Wednesdays. As far as monkeypox, there have now been 7 cases of monkeypox identified in Montana. Those have been in Flathead, Cascade, Gallatin, Teal, Lake, and Missoula counties, but that remains unchanged for the last month. There have been 29,248 confirmed monkeypox cases across the US, according to the CDC. And that's an increase of about 2,000 cases since last month. Globally, there have been more than 80,000 cases. Moving on to the hospital and long-term care. We have started to see cases of flu and RSV in the community. Just one day last week, we did have 2 positive cases of influenza and 1 RSV in the same day, and those have been influenza A. All of the hospital departments have been coming up with quality improvement projects to improve care and processes, as well as to save costs and improve our revenue at the hospital. We've also begun monthly skills labs for our nursing and provider staff. Our last skills lab included critical airway skills, including oral and nasal airway placement, intubation, and a ventilator review. Going into the holiday season for the long-term care side, we did have big plans for our long-term care residents, but due to unforeseen COVID outbreak, we were unable to see some of the activities through. With that being said, we were able to continue with other activities. We were able to continue with puzzles, one-to-one visits, crosswords, and small games within the rooms with each patient. Once the outbreak status was lifted, we were able to continue doing normal activities such as brain exercises, bingo, flex and stretch, music with Jay, among other activities and crafts, getting ready for Christmas decorating around the facility. With December now here, not right around the corner, we are planning to attend the Yule Night Parade with whatever residents would like to attend, and I believe we're putting the van in the Yule Night Parade with residents. Family resident Christmas dinner we've had planned, but we've also decided to cancel that due to now the pending RSV and influenza in the community. We've been trying to get our residents involved as much as possible in choosing new activities to help improve their participation. Moving on to department reports, central supply work is continuing to update our charge master, and eventually that will be uploaded into Jumpstock, which will help with our charging of supplies. In the clinics, we recently started offering pre-employment physicals and urine drug screens for businesses. We've contracted with a fairly large company out of Anaconda and have started doing that for that company at this time. We also continue to offer COVID vaccine clinics on Wednesdays. In dietary, our walk-in refrigerator freezer upgrade began last week, and that will include new evaporators, compressors, seals, and electrical service. The walk-in will basically be refurbished except for the refrigeration boxes themselves. They were working on the cooler part of that today, and that should be finished after today, and we'll have all upgraded cooler and freezer. And we'll also have built-in alarms that will go to the apps that will actually let us know before we actually have a problem. We'll start seeing drops in temperature and some alarms that way. So For emergency preparedness, I do plan to participate in the upcoming countywide emergency preparedness exercise. That will be tomorrow. It'll be an active shooter tabletop exercise, and it'll include state and county offices, including the hospital, county health, county schools, and EMR.
Where's that at?
I believe it's a museum tomorrow. Yeah,
I just, so everybody knows.
okay, yeah. Moving on to human resources and open positions, we still have a part-time environmental services position for the Drummond Clinic. Still have a board clerk position open, 1 RN charge nurse on nights, 4 CNAs, 2 on day shift, 2 on night shift. We're still looking for a medical assistant from Drummond Clinic, and that will be to open up more days in Drummond. And we have openings for part-time mid-level providers and full-time mid-level provider, which we are seeing a fair amount of interest in now. And then 1 director of nursing position. I announced last month that Ron Ham, PA certified, had been hired as a full-time provider. Ron has begun seeing patients and is a phenomenal addition to our provider team. Our new maintenance engineer director, Scott Rigdon, or Scott Revman, has started and has jumped right in, is completing several projects in the facility. Shannon Martell, our new community health worker, has also begun working for us too, and we started introducing her to different groups around. Actually, Shannon, this year.
Come up.
So, yeah, so this is Shannon Martell, this is our new community health worker. And she is gonna be involved with, well, do you mind if she gives a brief presentation?
Of course, I'm Shannon Martell. I live in Drummond. I've lived in Drummond probably for over 20 years now, raised 3 kids and stuff. And so, yeah, so I just got hired back in August to be the community health worker for Granite County. Took a lot of training, pretty much took all summer to get certified and everything. So I'll just kind of tell you a little bit about what my position is going to be. I'm kind of what everybody has been calling me a resource guru, kind of a little bit. I'm the warm handoff to connect community members to available resources and a support person for staff. I can provide culturally appropriate health education and information, help people get the care they need, give informal counseling and guidance on health behaviors, advocate for individual and community health needs, and sometimes just checking in on them. For the hospital part, I will be involved with discharge planning and care coordination, which my goal will be to reduce readmission, which a lot of people call the frequent flyers. So to try to help talk to them and find out why they keep coming to the ER, if there's something that I can do to help them. Sometimes they just come, you know, because they need somebody to talk to, or they're just having, you know, personal issues. I can hopefully step in and make it to where they're not making the ER their primary social or their primary need of that kind of social interaction. I can kind of maybe take a little bit off their plate and stuff too. So I can reach out to community residents where they live, eat, play, work, and worship. I'm a frontline agent on change, helping to reduce health disparities in underserved communities. I'm also excited to help to be able to use the transport, the van. We're kind of in works for maybe like if the long-term care patients need to go to somewhere other than here for doctor's appointments or, you know, therapy of some kind, I can maybe step in and drive them to that wherever they need to go. And we're also kind of talking about maybe having once a month a grocery run, maybe for some of them also. So I lost my place. Oh, the grocery thing, yes. And I'm also trying to be like a liaison between Drummond and Phillipsburg to kind of get our communities kind of back in, get back in together, so that the clinic and the hospital up here can kind of be a little bit more involved in the Drummond community down there. And I'm hoping that maybe I can be that person to let the Drummond community know that, hey, these are the source, the resources we have up here. These are the great people that work up here now. I work with them and it's gonna be great. We're gonna try to get everybody kind of back in medical center, a good place for everybody, you know, because there's a little bit of a bad taste down there for them right now. So I'm hoping that I can be that person to make it better for them. So, and also, some of you may know that 9 years ago, I lost my son to suicide. And so mental health is a really big part of my life now. I'm on the AFSP board and everything, so I kind of want to work with Chad a little bit and make sure that we can kind of get some more mental health resources here in Granite County so that people feel safe here. I'm also going to be working with Scott Dunkerson to try to work with his guys and everything to try to not think that they just have to put somebody in jail right away if they're having a mental breakdown or something like that, that we can kind of have other resources. And we've got Ashley Westfall here, who is a great mental health provider, and Anna Bergerson also, who I work close with. So I'm hoping to kind of work with them and kind of, like I said, get mental health into Granite County where people don't have to go outside of our county to feel like they're safe to talk to somebody about their mental health. So, yeah. So you have any questions for me or?
Welcome.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited. I think this is going to be great. And I think that everything that I'm hopefully going to accomplish for the hospital and get our communities back together will be great.
We work out of this in the office up here.
Yes, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to be up here for 2 days a week. And then I'm going to be down in Drummond for now 1 day a week because they're only there on Tuesdays and stuff. So that's just kind of, yeah. And then once we're open a little bit more in Drummond, I'll be down there too.
And you'll advertise and stuff and showing that when you're open and whatever.
Yes, yep. Yep, I think the more the word gets out about me a little bit and know what I'm doing. And yeah, I mean, and I have a work phone. I can give you guys my business card and stuff. And so, yeah, I can be reached by email, by phone. And I'm sure if someone called up at the hospital or even at the Drummond Clinic, they would know how to get a hold of me as well. So, because I'm able to go into people's homes also. And that's kind of a little bit where discharging patients out of the hospital, like I'll be in there making sure that, like, let's say a person fell or something, and that's why they came in. I can go and be like, do you feel safe to go back to your home? Like, if not, why did you fall? Let's go into your home and let's maybe move some things around or, you know, fix your step that you tripped on. I mean, I can find a place that'll, you know, do that for them and stuff.
Well, I'm sure then you'll be in touch with the public health nurse. And
Yes.
Jackie down
Yep.
there too.
Yep, she knows all about me and
Yeah.
yep, I've talked to her, quite a few times. So I'm not really a home health person. I'm just kind of like, and I'm not a social worker either. I don't have the degree for that and stuff. So I'm just kind of an in-between person, you know, to take some of the burden off of home health and, you know, because sometimes home health only gets so many hours that they can help people and stuff to where I'm, you know, 5 days a week, you know, I've got my phone on, so I'm more able to be able to go into people's homes and, you know, sometimes they just need somebody to visit with.
Like, say if the sheriff needed you, he could call you in and say there's something going on that he could go. Visit other people, now
Yeah.
you can do that.
Mhm, mhm. And that's what I told him. I talked to Scott about, like, because sometimes he'll get prisoners in there that are having a mental health issue or something like that. And I said, I would totally, I can't fix everything, but I have resources, you know, being involved with AFSP and all that kind of stuff that I'm able to either find somebody that can help them or, you know, sometimes people in those mental health issues just need somebody to talk to. They just need those validating their feelings that they're having troubles.
The
You know.
hospital finances, you then, was it pay or is there a grant?
Yep, right now it's run through a grant.
Oh,
for 2
yeah,
years.
that, but okay.
Yeah.
Who's paying her?
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, the grant is for 2 years, and then if I'm doing a good job and everybody seems to like me, then hopefully the hospital will be like, hey, let's keep you and, you know.
So when do you think you'll be able to open a clinic in Drummond more than 1 day a week?
as soon as we fill a position here, the position that we have open for full-time and part-time, if we get someone full-time, then Ron's doing that now, then he would go to John.
So, I mean, they do need some goodwill down there.
Yes.
And they do need to understand that this is Granite County. and the
Exactly.
clinic is there for them too, and then it has been.
And like I said, I've lived there for so long that I feel like I'm a good part of the community down there. That I'm hoping that I can kind of, give a little bit, of a good vibe for up here and me getting to meet everybody, because there's a lot of people that I don't know at the hospital is still that I need to get introduced to and stuff like that, to where I can be like, oh yeah, I know that person, that they're a great doctor or nurse, and so I can kind of be that in
Very
between.
nice, somebody walk, just, what do I do to do this, or where do I need this help, and how, whatever you. Like you said, the information, get it out to them, or go see them, or
Exactly.
I don't know, yeah.
And to kind of like encourage them to come up here and use our facilities, use the doctors and the nurses and the clinic up here. Get to know Ron and, stuff like that, since he's gonna be the one in Drummond, and just to get a little bit more comfortable for people to be okay with coming up here.
Good for you.
Yes, it'll be great.
Any other comments or that, or anything?
No, I gave you my stuff.
Oh, yeah, that was good, thank you, appreciate it.
I can give you guys my card and stuff, and then you can, yeah.
Did you have more?
I have a little bit.
Oh, he always has more, right?
So back to human resources,
Thanks, Sammy.
You guys so much. You don't need me?
All right, thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank
Um,
you.
so two of our current workers in dietary and our environmental services department have decided to make career changes and become CNAs for the hospital. Selena Svalson and Annie Jensen have started training for their new roles. Selena has also started working in our activities department and is really enjoying it. That's my place now. We will train these employees as CNAs, and they have been given CNA training manuals. They hope to be prepared to challenge the certification test by February. It's great to see employees that want to help our facility and to continue to grow themselves with their talents, where their talents can be the most utilized. In addition, we have another new CNA starting in December. And these will all be Grant County Medical Center employees, leaving only one additional opening filled by a traveler in our CNA department. Our director of nursing, Tim Rock, has given his resignation and will be leaving due to personal reasons. Tim's done much in a very short time in our facility and has put many great processes in place, and he will be missed. And we wish him the best. We have put Mike Kolarchik in that interim position at this point.
Go in and told us that morning.
Oh, did he?
From one that help, yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Guy.
Mike's a great guy. He's been an excellent addition to the hospital. We're happy to have him there. Happy to have him back there.
Yeah, that's a good job.
In the maintenance, transportation, Scott's just been really busy clearing snow, and then we have several maintenance projects around the facility that kind of we're waiting for. Medical staff, we had a couple of re-credentials of just teleradiology, physical therapy. We had 107 visits last month. 92 of those were outpatient, 12 of those were swing bed, and 3 of those were restorative care. And radiology, we completed 14 CT scans. We have been seeing a lot more swing beds, and that's kind of where we want to go with the facility as well. We're starting to see a lot of referrals for skilled, so they're coming in the hospital and did some physical therapy before they're ready to go back to long-term care. And we're seeing referrals from as far as Billings and those. So
Good for you.
yeah,
It's a hell of a report. Good job. Really.
yeah. Thank you. Any questions?
No, just a good job. Keep doing good work, so.
Okay, well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Well, thank you. And
All right.
appreciate it. And Good luck.
Thank you.
Great,
See ya.
thank you. Happy to-
I make the motion to adjourn.
Good.
Good job.